after Fury Usyk, I spent a bit of time with Ryan Garcia, and I was very surprised and interested.
He called me yesterday.
What are your thoughts?
I want to do big fight with him, and he asked me to do the rematch between him and Haney, and we want to see this fight.
I would love
But
to see that fight.
but I will tell you my situation now. I was the minister of sport in my country, and after that, the minister of entertainment in my country. I am against the drugs and against everything about it. I said to Ryan Garcia, you must pass the test and clear yourself, and I am waiting for you. And this is fair.
We believe he has a suspension at the minute, but
Until
after that,
April, and he's ready he have a suspension in America. He can do something in Saudi Arabia, but I will not do it in Saudi Arabia. I will respect the suspension. But if he solve his problem, we are ready to do something with him.
That was TURKi before he even made the offer to Ryan Garcia for the Devin Haney rematch. He told Ryan, "You must clear your name and be drug-free if you want the Devin Haney rematch." TURKi has a plan in place. He has a vision in place to fix boxing, including the drug issue in the sport of boxing. So when Ryan goes around telling everyone he's not going to enroll with Vada, even though he failed for PEDs and got suspended after pleading guilty, the person who pleaded guilty for cheating in court doesn't have a say-so. He has no room to demand anything, especially nothing about testing that will ultimately help him cheat again. Even TURKi had to come out and set the record straight. Even TURKi is demanding for Ryan to enroll with Vada. And when Ryan says, "I want to do testing, but not with Vada," obviously what Ryan wants to do is some type of testing that do not test for all of the PEDs in the market like Vada does. That's why Ryan keeps pointing fingers at Vada and accuses them of being biased toward Devin Haney, as if Devin Haney bribed them. So Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and fighters on Canelo Alvarez level can't bribe Vada, but Devin Haney can? You gotta make it make sense. Everyone in the sport of boxing today uses Vada because they are the best at what they do. Canelo uses Vada, Crawford uses Vada. Everyone in boxing uses Vada because that's the peak when it comes to testing. They test for everything. There is no funny business with Vada. Scientists don't lie. However, we all know Ryan does. This is why Ryan keeps attacking Vada, so he can justify not using Vada. But that's not going to work. The reason why is because if the problem is with Vada, then how can Ryan explain failing a third test with the New York State Athletic Commission that had nothing to do with Vada? I told you guys, when Ryan was trolling Vada like he was trolling Devin Haney, what the New York State Athletic Commission did was test their B sample that they had for all strain. And ironically, Ryan B sample came out positive for PEDs, which is why Ryan's problem right now is not with Vada, but more so he wants to keep cheating. He wants to find a way to cheat. He wants to take PEDs that are in the market, rare PEDs that certain testing agencies do not test for. But since Vada tests for everything, he has a problem with them. He wants to use a testing agency that don't test for all of the PEDs in the market, so he can use rare PEDs and be PED strong on fight night. But Devin is not going to let that happen. The sport of boxing is already up on it. And even TURKi, who's presenting the rematch to Ryan, he's demanding Ryan to do random style drug testing. TURKi is against cheating. TURKi is against the drug problem in the sport of boxing, and he told Ryan this. With that being said, we shall see if TURKi can put Ryan Garcia in his place, which is the free PED zone, which we all know that's hell on earth for Ryan. So go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below. And to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Have you had a chance to talk to Saul? To Canal, Ryan? Have you had a chance to talk to him?
Hey, what if a boxing league? Imagine a boxing league where you can do steroids. That'd be cool.
I think they had it's called the Enhanced game.
No, it's called Pride FC in Japan.
Is it?
Yeah, Pride.
That shit's nuts, huh?
Pride in the contract said you're allowed to use steroids. Hey, that's the only way it's even. Let everyone juice.
I think you've been in the ring with someone that sounds
Oh yeah. I thought Oscar Dortmund was scared. That motherfucker is crazy.
Why?
I hit him with some shit.
Yeah.
Bro, this thing.
Terminated.
Relax.
Here's the way it works, and I'm sure Chris also understands because Chris partially explained this to me as well. Here's how it works when you're microdosing. So you bigger dose off season, which is not when there's no fights and nobody's getting tested because boxing is the Wild West and doesn't test in between fights. And then you're microdosing during camp. And when you're microdosing, it is trapped in the fat and therefore not going into your bloodstream, so therefore it's harder to catch you. When a fighter struggles to make weight, sometimes they're losing all that fat and you get a little bit of tricklage coming out of the fat, and the drugs will come out in small spurts. That's why they're always caught in small doses. And people, the moronic part of the population will say, oh, that's not enough to help him. No, that's just the part that finally leaked.
It's the leftovers, essentially.
Yes, and because they struggle in weight, which is also a typical thing when you start to think about it, why guys keep moving up in weight. So there's less struggles when they're doping to make weight, and therefore they keep moving up in weight and keep showing no signs of weakening and no signs of aging and no signs of, we don't have to name names. The boxing's rife with it, you know? But nonetheless, now when I started to learn this part, because every single time a guy fails, I'm always asking questions and I'm always learning a little bit more. And this time, when it came to this microdosing situation, it's a big way to beat even the random drug tests because it's not going to show up unless you're really draining yourself. So therefore, it makes sense why guys keep moving up in weight. So Ryan was struggling to make the weight and he failed right at the end. But he passed in the middle of camp. This kind of explanation is an explanation worth looking into when it comes to his failed B test, B sample. As for the lawyers, they're going to play lawyer and they're going to manipulate it as much as possible and mention that he passed those tests in the middle of camp. Well, I just explained to you in the method that microdosing work why he would have passed the tests in the middle of camp but failed at the very end. Because at the very end was when he was drained. Remember, he struggled to make weight. He was drained and therefore the substances start coming out, which also explains why he's now talking about fighting at welterweight, junior middleweight, super middleweight against Benavidez. You also get a little bit of sense of why he would do that as well if this is the case. So once you know how the science of it works, you start to really put things together. You can reach your own conclusions. If you want to be a groupie, you can and reach no conclusions. But I'm the person who's going to keep thinking about and keep thinking about not just fighters now, like Ryan, but also fighters in the past, fighters that have failed, fighters that have not failed, and so on and so forth. Really puts a light bulb over the situation.